intern. He's done such a great job. And his last subject matter is going to be Kate Geiger of the Indiana Free Library. How privileged are you?
Awesome. That's great.
Say hi to everybody on Facebook Live, Kate.
Had no idea I was in for that treat. Thank you.
Some people might not consider that to be a treat. Kate Geiger is with us. The Indiana Free Library has been, we've been watching with fascination as the work has been going on this summer and wondering how you've been doing. So it's really good to catch up with you here today and find out about what's going on at the library. Scaffolding's down in front of the library, still on the side, still on the 9th Street side. So what's going on? What's happening with the community center building, of which the library, of course, is a key component?
Well, I can tell you a few things about the building. Things have been delayed, but it is going on, and we're nearing completion on the exterior part of the project. The project is in 2 portions, and exterior goes first and then interior. So the interior will probably start sometime in the next month. I have no timeline.
Yeah.
So I'm not the one really to give you the good information about that. And I came to talk about some other things this morning.
Yeah, sure.
Burrell Township residents, I have a message for them, and that is the Indiana Free Library is offering free cards, library cards, to all the residents in Burrell Township. The Burrell Township Library is closed due to a water problem.
Oh, I see.
And it won't be able to open back up again. The building has been condemned. They're going to have to rebuild. And so until that time, we're offering free cards to all the residents in Burrell Township. Normally, the way the system works, there's a program statewide called Access PA. And under Access PA, anyone with their home library card can come to another library and get a card. So Burrell Township and Blairsville residents have always been able to come to the Indiana Free Library and get a card. However, without a library and those cards being expired, they're not sure what to do.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get the word out to them and let them know, not even just people with a card, but anyone in Burrell Township at this point in time, we are encouraging them to come and get a library card from our library.
Yeah.
And
so what do they use it for?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question because we have more than just, what's in the library, the print materials, books, and we have 75,000 volumes and magazines and DVDs, audiobooks, and all of those things that can be checked out. But we also have a lot of digital resources that people are still not finding that are on our website. So music downloads and streaming movies. We have ebooks, audiobooks. We have online classes, which are 6-week instructor-led classes. They're mostly skill building. They're intended to help people in their job development and learning a new craft, a new skill. So there are a lot of good resources that people need to find on our website. And that's, whether you're in Indiana or outside of Indiana, those are available for any device that you have. So cell phone, computer, whatever you're using.
Boy, that goes well beyond the doors across the street.
It sure does.
Yeah.
So what I like to say is libraries are in your back pocket. So you can really get that from anywhere. But for the Burrell Township residents, all they need to do is to bring something to the library that has their address on it. So whether it's a utility bill or a driver's license or a piece of mail, sometimes people new to the area, they don't know how to get a library card. And I say, just mail yourself a postcard and bring it in. So it's just something that establishes your residency. That's a matter of state law. And so people need to understand that we have to have something that has their address. And that's really all it takes to get a library card.
Yeah, well, there you go. And of course, here in Indiana White Township, the card's available all the time as well.
Right. Indiana Township, my goal is there are 32,924 people in the Indiana School District, and my goal is for all of them to get a library card.
Put a card in every hand.
Exactly. Right now we're at about 15,000, so not quite half, but that's my goal. And when you have access to a card, you have access to all of those resources, and that's a really great thing. And then anywhere you go in Pennsylvania, you have access to other libraries as well. So It's a good deal. We call it the power card.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does empower you to
It
do a
does
lot of
empower
different
you.
things.
That is the point.
And it also points out the fact that you'd love for everybody to have a card, that the Indiana Free Library has something for every age group, every interest.
Absolutely. And some of those things are, we have a Miss Humblebees for kindergarten and preschool age, which is an online program. So kids can get access to that from a tablet or anywhere they are. And they also have computers in the library that we are made for kids 2 to 10, color keys, and we let them bang on the keyboard. So they're learning skills that they're going to need lifelong as well. So that's great. Yeah.
One of the things that is a tradition for the Indiana Free Library, and for anybody going past the library, is that thermometer. The thermometer that talks about funding and funding goals and how people contribute and how the library is able to raise and utilize its funds. Let's talk about that a little bit, if we could.
I would love to, because just like public radio and public television, listener and donor support is always needed. With a public library, we raise about half of our support. So it is really important to have the support of the community behind the library, and that's what empowers us then to help the community. So that support is very, very critical to us staying open and being open. And we expanded our hours a few years ago. Prior to that, people still remember when we were closed on Fridays, and there were state funding cuts that we were responding to, and we just keep working to build back that amount, but we're still having to make that up with donor support.
Sure.
So that's the way libraries work.
Yeah, I look across the street right now, and on the marquee, it says, "Help us help you, online donations at indianafreelibrary.org." And there's the thermometer with funding filled in, I think, on the bottom two numbers. You'd love to add some more numbers up above where that red line is, wouldn't you?
We sure would. We're not even halfway to our goal. But what I can tell you is the return on investment for libraries is almost 6%, which is really great. For every dollar you invest in a library, there's $6 of value that goes back into the community. And I'd love to get 6% at any bank.
Sure.
I think it's a really great investment, and then that helps build the community, and that's how we add that value. Is people are able. Last year, just with our basic services, not anything special, even though we have a lot of other things that we add on, we saved the Indiana community more than $3 million. That's how we put the value back into the community. So it's a really important resource.
Is there a date-to-date timeline by which you close the fund drive off and say, okay, this is what we raised in this month's or in this year's campaign?
We go by calendar year.
Okay, so
yes. So some people respond to our spring mailings, and other people respond to our big fundraising event, Evening in the Stacks, and we hang stars in the library, and they offer support that way. There's a lot of different ways, but they can go online at any time. They can. If it's easier for people to make a monthly donation rather than all at one time, there's a program on our website that allows that to happen. Yeah. So a lot of good ways to go about it.
Sure.
And we're just grateful for all the support. Indiana is a wonderful community. People really love the library. And they come in and tell me that all the time. I'm the one that gets to see it.
Yeah. Down through the years, of course, there have been times when the future of the library was in real doubt.
Yes.
And I know that every year's campaign helps to stabilize and maybe put those kinds of thoughts further behind us, and we want them as far behind us as we can possibly get them.
Yes, and that really all relies on the strength of our fundraising. And so that's what keeps us vital. That's what keeps us active and able to serve, is that donor support.
So as you think about the community center building and once they move inside and some of the improvements that are going to be coming, of course, the restrooms have already been upgraded.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the things that you anticipate a year from now, 2 years from now, when everything is done at the Indiana Free Library. What's it going to mean to how you operate and what people will see inside?
Well, some will stay the same, but we are targeting certain areas, and one of them is the children's department. Our children's department is very busy and active, and sometimes we have large numbers at programs. And what we're going to do is there is a internal room that has been for storage. We're going to open that out and make that a separate story room so that that function could go on and it's not right in the middle of the collection. So we're going to have a separate story area. And then where the story area had been, we're going to have a separate craft area for the kids. They love the crafts. They love coming in for doing all kinds of activities and crafts. This year for summer reading, we're building instruments and doing some really great things with music. So it does help to have a separate area where you can do that. We also hope to put in a smart board so that, the nature of reading is very interactive. And so kids are learning all kinds of good skills that are going to help them in the future. So that area is going to be a real target. Another area that we're hoping to target is on the second floor, doing a technology room. Libraries call it a maker space, but it's really a place where you learn by doing. So you're involved and you're active with technology and trying things out and learning by, instruction, but also just some free play. Yeah. Because we've always done free reading, and free reading really helps people learn the skill of reading. I can't imagine any profession where reading isn't helping things. So, right. Even on the radio, you're reading things, you're reading the news. It's really critical for our success as a community.
Kate Geiger is with us from the Indiana Free Library. Just a few moments left with her on this visit. You will come back, though, because we need to hear from you frequently. Rumors are always out there about what's happening at the library, and no matter what the institution, there are always rumors out there.
Yes.
Obvious best source is indianafreelibrary.org, your Facebook, or simply a call to you, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Anytime somebody has a question.
Right. And I just want people to know, we've had lots of rumors over the summer during the construction that were closed for the summer. They saw plywood up on the windows while they were being replaced and said, the library's boarded up for the summer. And I just want to let you know, yes, it was noisy and, messy and sometimes lack of AC, but we're there and we're operating and we're available for people. So anytime, yes.
Yeah. Okay, here's the big rumor. The doors over the porch on the second story, those new doors, everybody wants to know about them. And no, it's not for outdoor concerts, right? You're not going to do concerts on the roof.
No. As a matter of fact, those doors have always been there.
Yeah.
They've just been replaced, and now they're new doors. But people didn't notice them until they were new, but they have been there all along. Yeah. And there's always been access to that roof area. What's new up there are the pillars. And I think that's an effort on the borough's part to go back to the historicity of the building. Yeah. So what the building looked like in its origin. And so that's a new addition. But the doors are the same. They're just new and shiny, and so people are noticing them.
Yeah. We're going to ask Aaron to turn around at the end of the interview and show people the pillars on that second floor, because they're really neat looking. I like them a lot.
Yes, and there will be railings that go with those pillars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so they're not done. They're still working on it, but we're getting closer.
Very good, very good. All right, Aaron's going to do that. Thank you so much, Kate, for coming across the street for us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being able to get the word out.
Our pleasure. It is the Voice of Indiana County on Facebook Live right now. You can check it out. The Indiana Free Library has that new look in the front of it, and it's going to get even better. Fox News is coming up next at the top of the hour. It's the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. We're a minute away from 9 o'clock.